2548 B5 app 2 MB Ida for turning around in my car when I saw that my boyfriend brought his friends with him to go on a trip with us 5. IF30 AM dating my boyfriend, Smith M39 for 8+ months. We have been planning to go on a road trip, but it couldn't happen because he kept insisting that we let his 2 friends tag along. He brought it up again and promised that he would ask me to let him bring his friends with him since 1. I'm the one paying for the expenses, and 2. It's my car. 3. I always wanted us to go alone for once without having his friends tag along. 4. I don't want to pay for his friends. We agreed that I'd come pick him up in the morning so we could go. I came in my car and entered his neighborhood. However, when I saw him standing outside with his bag and his 2 friends were also standing there with their bags, I was shocked and furious. I didn't pull over, I just turned around and kept driving and went back home. I saw him running after me in the rearview mirror. He then stopped and started calling me. I did not respond till I got home. He lashed out on me on the phone, asking why the hell I turned around and left. I told him why and how I didn't appreciate how he basically tried to force me to take his friends with us, after I said no already. He called me awful and said that I ruined the entire thing for us and acted immaturely and spitefully. He said I could have just accepted it how it is, but I told him that I would never accept being put in a situation where I'm expected to just suck it up. He hung up after yelling at me for a few minutes. I called back but got no response. He texted about how embarrassed him in front of his friends, and is refusing to speak to me till after I apologize. Ida for turning around in my car and going home. Did I make the right call?
NTA. Take it as a sign and move on, girl. Edited to add, it reminds me of the woman who turned around at the airport when she saw her mill standing there. It is basically the same situation, just with BF's friends. Don't give up and find someone who wants to spend time with you and respects you. He's 39 and wants his GF to pay for and chauffeur his friends and lie to get you to do it, then accuse you of acting immaturely? That sound you hear is a giant red flag flapping in the wind. Run fast, run far, my friend. NTA. Your 39-year-old boyfriend doesn't have a car and can't afford to pay his own way on a road trip? And expects you to foot the bill of his freeloading friends as well? I'm glad you turned around and I hope you keep on driving away from this relationship. NTA. NTA. But I think some language happened here that can be insightful to anyone. Sometimes we don't say what we mean and sometimes we do, without even knowing. He said he wouldn't ask anymore. I hate to think like this sometimes, but I think some people are smart with their words. He said he wouldn't ask anymore. And he didn't. He brought them without asking. It's funny what people say and what people do and remembering what they said and connecting it to what they did. It's like lying almost. Like what he said was enough language to make anyone believe he would do fully what was being asked of him, but it was also phrased in such a way that gave him a loophole to do as he wanted in his mind maybe. Of course that loophole is like imaginary, but I just find it interesting. Lol. Also I find some people try to play the, well you said not to ask you to let me bring them, you didn't say not to bring them, when it's very obvious that is included in the ask. NTA. But I laugh at the irony of an almost 40-year-old man who tried to sneak his buddies onto a trip when he was already told no for many, incredibly reasonable, motives, calling you immature. Look, I don't know or anything, but you're dating an almost 40-year-old teenager. Mommy won't let me bring my friends on our trip, is all I could picture in my head. Ida for leaving my family in Squalor and going to a resort. So let's begin with this. I make decent money, but I am in nowhere rich. I like to take my family on vacation and have been stymied for the last couple of years. So this summer I decided to do something I thought was pretty great. I paid for my family to go to Disneyland. Not just my wife and kids, but also my Mill, my wife's brother and his wife and kids. So 10 people. I also rented a McMansion with a pool and everything. I bought all the groceries and rented a truck so I could ferry the luggage, and in case of emergency, we would have a vehicle. My kids are in their teens and my nephews are a few years younger. My immediate family did not require any help with the kids. And, realistically, neither did my in-laws. So we get to the house and the problems start. The room I had picked out for my wife and I is obviously the nicest. My father-in-law and mother-in-law chose to stay in the pool house. This left 5 other bedrooms for 6 people. Bill Sill, my 2 kids, their 2 kids. Simple, right? Not so fast. Why did I get the best room? They hadn't had some nice time alone in years. Why did my kid pick the room with the ensuite? Why did one room have a bigger TV? Why are we having to cook some meals? Why don't we just order every meal? JFC. I just went to my room and went to sleep. First day. More BS. Why do we have to wait in lines? Why don't we get the tour guide that lets us skip the lines? My wife started joining in. She said we shouldn't be cooking at the house and that it wasn't fair to her and Sil to be stuck with the cleaning. My kids always help. I do too. Bill sits on his ass though. My in-laws joined the fun at the end of the day. They didn't want to wait for the Uber. Could they take the truck and meet us back at the house? My wife said to let them. I got sick of it. I ordered everyone pizza and then while they were gorging themselves, I called an Uber and went to a hotel that I am a super shiny member of. I used my points to book a suite for the next 6 days. I texted my wife and told her I would catch up with everyone in the morning at the park. She is mad that I left her to deal with those ungrateful, greedy people. I'm sitting in the pool enjoying a gin and tonic and writing this because I left the park after I saw the new superhero stuff at the park. Her brother and sister-in-law are now bugging her to give up the nice room since she is alone. Now she is not on their side. Too late. So, Ida for leaving them to all sort out their own stuff after I went out of my way to do something nice, and they crapped all over it. Edit. I'm going to go get ready for the game. Thank you guys. You have given me a lot to think about. Yikes. Edit. My wife went beast mode. She is spending the night with me at the hotel after the game. I am back at the house tomorrow. My brother-in-law has been told if he even looks at our room he and his wife are going to a motel. In-laws were told to Uber wherever they wanted. We are still taking everyone out for one dinner, but all other meals not made in the house are pay your own way. And brother-in-law is responsible for cleaning up after meals. Honestly didn't think she had that in her.
NTA. This is actually hilarious. You took a vacation from your entitled relative's vacation. Well, maybe you should have warned your wife and brought her along, and left the other relatives to figure things out for themselves. I can't even fathom someone sponsoring me for a free vacation like that, and saying anything but thank you so much, let me get your suitcase for you, this is fantastic. Next year, tell them since the last vacation wasn't up to their standards, you're going to let them pay for this one, and show you how it's done properly. NTA. Your in-laws are greedy. Your wife should have shut them down right away. All it would take is her saying that they can either enjoy the trip as you intended or go home. Hopefully this is the last time you invite the ingrates anywhere. Enjoy your alone time because by the time your wife gets home she is going to be at the end of her rope too. NTA. What is wrong with all the people calling you an ass? You went above and beyond for your wife's family. They are greedy and ungrateful. Your wife should have shut that down and instead joined them in whining. They are lucky they still have reservations in the vacation.